make it. Hey, how you doing?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how tired are you today?
Well, combined with staying up till 4 a.m. to watch the Blue Jays game, I stayed up till 3:49. Said, screw it, I'm going to bed. When the top of the 18th finished, and at 3:51, which I didn't see, the Dodgers hit the home run to win. So I stayed up that late. And
maybe it was okay to miss
Didn't even see the end of the game.
So we're recording this, and there's actually another game tonight that when this episode is published, we will know the results of. But the mystery remains for this moment in time.
But that coupled with spending every minute of the day clearing out Togetherland, making trips, putting in the miles.
After 2 double headers on the weekend that we hosted and you played. This is one of those weeks where you just have to kind of prepare yourself in advance to say it's going to be about 10 days of flat out work and organizing and squeezing things in. So we knew we'd be a little fatigued.
Kind of what life as a creative person is, though.
Yeah. This is just a little, the dial's just turned up a notch.
A little bit,
Yeah. But I'm wearing one of your new sweaters, one of your new Town Heroes sweaters, lots of which were sold this weekend at the grand finale.
Amazing shows. It was definitely a special couple nights. George agrees over there.
Yeah. Hi, George. Just a sec. He wants to go out.
There was amazing crowds, filled to capacity, over capacity. We had some great special guests. Callan Kinney on fiddle. What a great player he is. That was the first time we did that. So
he was a star. I swear, like everyone in that room was just absolutely taken with all of you. It was just a beautiful energy environment. There was bingo, and our good friend Lauren was there making homemade food, and it just felt like the perfect farewell. Time for a new beginning just around the corner.
Saturday night, I brought my good bottle of scotch.
Yeah.
So I think if I had only had one drink out of it before then, it's like only special occasions. So
that's good to have.
Poured one for everyone in the band backstage.
Aw, that's nice.
And you could have had one. You didn't want one.
Well, my friend Bridget brought us some kind of salted caramel dream bottle, just a bottle of dreams. That was.
Should have some of that later. Yeah.
Great. Yes.
Pour it on your pecan pie. Oh man.
Oh my soul. Pair those together. You're in for a sugar rush.
Fasting.
I know. We're in a bit of a state, aren't we?
Yeah. So pecan pie with salted caramel liqueur of some sort from West Pubnico.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Anyways, enough about this. Let's talk about our amazing guest, Lisa Nasson.
We kind of scouted her out. We saw her perform on stage in both Dear Rita and then her recent performance in Mischief, which she wrote and was the star of.
Directed, and starred in.
My goodness, just...
like Sylvester Stallone in Rocky.
Yeah. We were just so impressed by her. We reached out kind of like this cold call. Like, will you please come hang out with us? We need to get to know you better. And now that we have, I'm wanting to spend even more time with her. Just, I don't know. Sometimes you just get that energy from someone where immediately you just really like them and want to be their friend. So this was really lucky. And George wanted to be her friend too.
Yeah.
Hi, dear.
Say something, George.
Yeah.
You don't really meow when you're picked up. But
no, he just wants to go outside and go hunting.
Just relax for a second, George.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's just very sweet person, easy to talk to.
Funny.
Yeah, funny. Just the presence she has is just so warm, and that's a nice thing to be around.
Yeah, I agree. And we were fortunate to see opening night of Mischief.
Yeah.
And it's going onward from Neptune Theatre, which is where we got to view it. But really, really lucky to be part of that. The whole cast was incredible. The sets were incredible. We spent a lot of this conversation reflecting on our thoughts on the show and talking about some of the contributors of that. And sometimes that's the case where you talk more about the art than the person, although we do certainly get to know Lisa a little bit better and her family origins and her inspirations. So, yeah, I just really enjoyed hanging out with her.
Yeah, and we got to meet her partner Mitch, who was with her there. He was a great guy. He hung out in the living room, and the two of them together, just like a big warm hug.
And we discovered after we were recording that they were actually celebrating their anniversary on the day that she was here. So it meant even more that they took time out of their day to spend with us.
So yeah, great chat. Check it out. Talented actress, playwright, director, all the things.
Super cool human. Yeah, I know everyone's going to love her just as much as us. So thank you, Lisa and Mitch, for being here. And we know everyone's going to just enjoy this one. Sit back and get cozy.
Okay, folks. We'll talk soon.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Make it.
Oh, I think Mike's hearing is probably actually worse than mine from years of performing on stage, but I have the diagnosis of deafness, so.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you have one ear you can't hear anything in, but then your other ear is like phenomenal.
Yeah. Yes.
So-
like I can hear our cat meow from 2 miles down the street, but
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe there's a little selective hearing going on too.
Oh my God. Visiting my grandparents, they live out in Millbrook, and they can't hear anything. They can't hear anything. And we go over, the TV's up full max, and it's just, you can't hear them. It's that's the next play I want to write, is a play about them just living together and trying to communicate.
The only thing that my parents can do with technology that I don't understand, like I have to help them with everything, but somehow they can make their phones louder than I know how to do it. Like, how do you get your notifications that loud?
Yeah, right.
Even if I go and turn mine up all the way, like, is there some boomer setting that we don't have access to that just makes it extra loud?
And every call is on speakerphone.
Yeah.
Like
And
we
the
were
talk to text.
talk to text.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of this. We were at Thanksgiving a couple of weeks ago in Cape Breton, and Mike's uncle gets a call and like shouting at the phone.
And
there's a room of 20 people.
Conversations
eavesdropping. You can't
happening
help
all
yourself.
around.
Oh my God.
Yeah, quite funny. But yes, we've talked about this being a skit too, with
Yeah.
older people and like the loud TV or the pounding on the cell phone
Oh my
to
gosh, I
dial
know.
numbers. Yeah, it's
Just
cute.
the text super big, and
Yeah,
like
we're
they're all
gonna
trying
be there.
to. Yeah, we're all
gonna
gonna be there. I know.
Yeah,
I know, especially my dad right now too. He can't hear anything. He's like 63, can't hear anything.
Yeah, it's a good thing we can text
he can't
each other.
hear anything.
Yeah,
He can't hear any. I know, it is good.
Yeah.
It is good.
the pros of text. Gosh. So, did you grow up with your grandparents around?
I did, yeah. My grandparents lived just up the road from us, and so they would, like, when both of my parents were working, and there were 5 of us kids, so my granny would just come pick us up from school and watch us, and drive around with us. We would go to the mall with her and sit with her at the mall while she's like doing her crosswords and her bingo cards, drinking coffee, telling us to scratch it for her, like at 10 years old.
Yeah. We
you
all
know?
learned gambling very early.
Yeah, exactly.
Break open tickets
I
my
know.
parents would bring.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I know. We did that with her on her birthday. She just turned 87
Nice.
a couple of weeks ago, and we got her a bunch of those pull cards, those pull tabs, and she won like $50.
There you go.
I'm like, wow,
Life
they
is
still
good.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, life is
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
You grew up in Millbrook, is that correct?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up in Millbrook. Well, I was actually born in Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
But all of my family is from Canada and Nova
Yeah.
Scotia and Mi'kmaq area. So we kind of moved back here when I was just 1, and I had 2 other siblings and my parents, and we actually moved in with my grandmother in a trailer park. So we were living with her there. And then we got our own house, and so I grew up in Millbrook, but then like the school and all the theater stuff was in Truro, which is like just the town outside of Millbrook.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
close. Yeah.
And you were a middle child, if my math
Yes,
is correct.
you
Okay.
are. Oh my gosh. Everything they say is true.
Okay, I was just
Yeah.
going to ask this, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm just going to jump to it. It's all the stereotypes are real, huh?"
I know.
Do you feel like you were the, I don't know, rebellious, or like is more of your family creative? Not that I think creativity is a rebellion, but like some families do.
Yeah, I would say my family is very, very creative. My dad is very shy, so he would never, ever go on stage. He would never be in a movie. He would never even try. And but he is the funniest person I have ever met. And he's just, the things he would say are so outlandish. And, you know, he lives in this bubble, this world of his own. And the way he speaks is just so out there. And you're just like, a lot of his humor is embedded into the work that I do. So he's very funny and very creative and always like decorating things and creating stories and creating all these jokes and scenarios. And like we'll be out in public and he would pretend to be this other person from when I was a young child. And then I would have to play along with him. But he's so shy. So I just don't understand it.
What was that other person like?
Oh my God. He would pretend he was like he was like on a break from a retirement home. So he would walk really slow. He wouldn't really speak. And when he did, it would be very loud and I would have to hold his arm. And it was just, we would do that at a Walmart. He would just, I don't know. I don't know what, I try to figure it out. It's like, is that some sort of coping mechanism of like, you know, you're so shy and socially awkward that you're trying to create
if I
a world?
try on a different body, their persona, then I get to be that person.
Yeah, right.
Do you find that in theater in general, or maybe yourself, that some of that shyness is removed when you're on stage?
For sure, I would say, yeah, because as a kid, I was pretty shy. Well, when I was in high school, I was pretty shy. I didn't have too many friends. I had like a few friends from each group, but I didn't have like a solid group of friends. So I was pretty shy, but I was like in all the plays and, you know, in the community theater and then doing theater with my mom. My mom was also an actress for a while in the community theater. And so I had these outlets for sure that I could kind of release that. But also like being a middle child too, it's like you don't get the attention. It's true. Like you don't really get the attention. So you find other ways. Like, I don't know. My dad always said to my other sisters, he was like, don't listen to Lisa, because I would make up things. Like I would make up scenarios and lies, and it was just something that was always said in our house. So yeah, it was. But yeah, my mom was also an actress, and my sister Tracy, she is also in theater. She's a choreographer.
Oh, cool.
And my brother is very musically talented. Again, very shy, doesn't show anyone, but he plays fantastic piano. Like I think he's a genius. He's so good. And both my younger sisters were dancers, so it's always been around us.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What a network.
Yeah.
Did you have theater at your school, or was it a community group that you would have joined?
We had theater at our school. In my high school, we had like these grand musicals that happened at the end of the year. So I would be in those, but I would be like ensemble, always ensemble. I never had a part. I never had a big part.
Yeah. What you know?
What made you first get into theater? Your mom being an actress, was that a big part of it?
Yeah, I would say so. She would like need someone to help study her lines.
Yeah.
So I would just be on book for her and helping her with her lines, and then we would go to the show and I would know everyone's lines. So I would like be in the audience, and then I would go up to them after the show and I'd be like, you missed your line, or you said the wrong thing. They would just laugh at me. So I guess it started there, like learning about text and reading the writing, and you know, because it was right in front of me. So
was your mom doing it on a professional level, or was it more community theater?
It was more community theater. She also directed a couple of shows. I've been in a couple of shows with her as a kid for the community out in the Truro area. No, she always wanted to, but you know, she had 5 kids, and yeah, it just gets hard.
Yeah, it's a full-time job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot.
And you later went to Toronto to study? Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, I went to Toronto. I went to George Brown Theatre School. I did their 1-year program there. And then I kind of thought, I was like, well, maybe I'll quit acting, you know, and study something else. So I went to University of Toronto to study film. And then when I was there, I was really missing acting. So I dropped out of that program and just started acting, and it became my full-time job. Yeah.
I mean, we can all draw our own conclusions about the differences between live theater and television acting. But in your experience, what's the allure of choosing the path that you did?
Oh, gosh. I think, well, with theater, it's so exciting because you get to see it live right in front of you. I mean, when I was an audience member, I was like so enamored by these actors that could convey a message through their own instrument of their body. I thought that was such a cool trick, and I was like fascinated by it. And then they're saying the stories that they're telling is so impactful because it's hardcore truth right in front of you. And I think like in life we don't see that very often. At least, we hide it away in our houses or in our, tight-knit relationships. But to see it presented in front of you is really powerful. So I really loved that. And I don't know, I guess I love film too. I love movies. I love, I've written for film, and that's something that's always been really fascinating to me. I haven't gotten there yet within my career as an actor, but maybe one day. But theater has always been so awesome.
Theater seems like it would be exponentially harder than film or TV because you have to get it all down. You can't be, I got to go back and let me get this line down. You have to have it all down before the show happens.
Yeah, you have to do a lot of work. It's like 3 weeks. Sometimes you get 2 weeks. Sometimes you get 1 week. And you have to learn all the lines and then be good at saying the lines and remembering where you stand, and because you have to do it all in one go. Yeah.
How do you memorize your lines?
Oh gosh, I'm pretty good at memorizing my lines. I'm pretty fast at it, I would say. I usually like to learn the lines before I even start the rehearsal process, and some people are like, "That's nuts! Why are you doing that? That's really weird." But I like being prepared because then you can kind of experiment more with what you're doing and, kind of hold that freedom when you're playing with the words and playing with the character. But for me, it takes I don't know, if I don't do that, it probably takes me about a week to learn. And I don't know, I kind of, when I have lines in front of me, I kind of see the images of what the words are, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, a simple line would be like, I have to go to the store because my uncle said I needed to buy more butter for the pie I'm making for him. Then I would think of like the pie imagery or the store imagery or the uncle imagery, and it's just easier that way.
Yeah, that's a good trick, actually.
Yeah.
Just for memorization in general.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's like painting a picture of it, right?
Sure.
You just see the words, and then you can like see the images in your head. And then a lot of people do it different ways, though. Like some people will take the first letter of each word and write just that out. And so they can look at the letters and then remember the words that way.
It's kind of a good life skill, too, just for remembering other parts of life that
grocery lists.
Grocery lists, for example, birthdays and names and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're on stage, you got your lines down perfect, and maybe this never happens. I'm just creating a hypothetical scenario here. But if you're the person you're acting with, engaging with in a scene, what if they say something that is, let's say, the wrong line or something that's not exactly how it goes? Do you have to adapt on the spot, or would you?
For sure.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of improv sometimes involved.
Yeah. There's you got to think fast because there's a bunch of people watching you. So you have to, I during Mischief, actually, I said the wrong line. And I wrote the play. So I just didn't know. I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention, or I think the audience laughed at something more than they normally do.
Yeah.
So it threw me off, and I was happy about it.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of acting teachers would be like, "What are you doing? Like, stay focused. That's not what you do." But it's just one instance that it would happen. I gave the wrong line to my co-actor, and then he all of a sudden started saying something else that wasn't in the script, and I just didn't know why he was saying that.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, and then I went to go get a prop, and I remembered because I touched the prop, and I was like, "Oh, he didn't ask for this. He's supposed to ask for this." And then so we just kind of had to make up a scene. I think I sarcastically like took the cigarettes and waved them in front of him. That was the prop, and then put them down. But there's been times where I've had to like feed another actor their line or vice versa, and then, but if that just doesn't, I don't know, if you don't know the other person's line, you kind of just have to, I don't know, take a beat, pause. The audience doesn't know. They don't really figure it out.
There's so much for you to keep track of because you're in character and you're blocking and picking up props and memorizing lines and prompting others. You're responding to the audience, giving them time to have their reaction. It's a lot of brain power, actually. And you must be exhausted after a show.
Yeah, pretty exhausted. Yeah, especially double show days. It gets pretty exhausting. Yeah, it's a lot. I think it's I don't know, for this show specifically, because I'm in basically every scene, we just kept running the show. I think it was like week 2 where we were just running the show every single day. And that's pretty uncommon for theater. Normally, I don't know, you don't get that opportunity to run the show until like you go right on stage until you get on stage or just before that. So it was a bonus for us to be able to do that. But yeah, it is pretty tiring. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for sure. It's but it's fun, and you get exhausted, but at the same time you're like, okay, this feels good and rewarding, and we're doing what we want to do, so it feels good.
Yeah, exhilaration comes with exhaustion usually.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about Mischief? We saw it on opening night, I believe.
I think it was opening night,
and loved it. But I want to hear your breakdown of what it is and what it's about.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Of course, it's
Oh
our
my
pleasure.
gosh, I'm happy you came and you liked it.
Yeah.
Mischief is the first show I ever wrote, full-on show I ever wrote. Yeah, it's about a young woman named Brooke who it takes place in 2018 when the statue of Edward Cornwallis was standing in Halifax, and she kind of lives a life of like, she's very like blocked and set in her ways, and kind of feels that she doesn't want to participate in the protests of taking that statue down. She's kind of shunning out her own culture and her own community and kind of staying in this safe, fixed space. But it's all around her. Her community in the store, which is her family, is very against the statue. And, she's going through a lot too. She's grieving her own mother. And so and I think that's a part of the reason why she doesn't want to touch her cultural stuff, because she doesn't want to get close to her mother again or, relive what happened to her mother. And in the play, we meet this really awesome woman named Emily, who is a Mi'kmaq ancestor from the 1700s, who appears in her utility closet at the store. And she's been a fan favorite for sure. She's kind of like the classic Mi'kmaq auntie, I would say. And she's aggressive, but she's funny, and she's sweet and heartwarming. And I guess Brooke feels inspired by her with these visits. And then she goes and takes down the statue, and then she's out in the woods, and she's in this raw state, this state of where, her people used to roam and live off the land, and now she's there, and she meets this man who's very weird to her, but it's all men that we've seen before with weird questions and, kind of this ignorance. And, but in the end, she's kind of found herself again and found her community and has been closer with her mother by taking down this statue. And, it's a real story of resilience, I would say, and a real story of like a woman coming into her own, but it also tackles a lot about like racism and the statue. And, a lot of people don't know about the statue. But the heart of the family, I would say, is the biggest thing about the show. Yeah.
How much of this story feels true or reflective of your own life?
It's kind of a lot, actually. I mean, my dad owns a convenience store, and his name is Chris.
Okay.
So I named the Uncle Chris character after my dad. And Tammy is someone I had known growing up. And she was awesome.
She was awesome.
She was so awesome. Very, very tough and funny and emotional. So I kind of based that character after her. And the character Emily is kind of based after my grandmother who passed away when I was a teenager. And she was very aggressive and very, snappy and sassy. And she's also named after my little sister Emily. And the Fisherman Fred character is kind of after these men, based off of these men who come into the store and, very rural Nova Scotian with that accent and needing cigarettes all the time, very addicted to nicotine.
Gotta get your darts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they say when they come in.
Spoken from a rural Nova Scotian man.
I don't smoke, though.
So funny. Yeah, it was just, I feel like you were able to capture not only so many themes and characters and stories, but the delivery of it or the mechanism of that was also very detailed. It was funny. It was sad. It was exciting. It was emotional. I left feeling like I learned something. We walked back to the car and talked about the show and really what did you take from this? And what do you think she wanted us to take from this? It was, I always appreciate art where the dialogue continues after the experience. And that was very much how we left the show feeling. And with that said, I would love to ask you what maybe you would hope the audience would walk away thinking and talking about.
Well, initially, I think it's just that. When I write, I never want to give it all away to the audience. I think that's, kind of spoon feeding them, right? You want to give them a story, but you want them to walk away with questions. You want them to walk away with, the what ifs or the conspiracy theories behind certain ideas. Like that's so interesting to me as an audience member. But I think for everyone in general to walk away from the play, I would want them to think of well, of course, the history of Halifax, right? I think, that gets so washed over of certain areas of the land and what it used to be and the Mi'kmaq people that used to be there and their roles in society and their way of living and their beliefs. That's not talked about. So I think prompting them with this play, maybe people went home and researched the Mi'kmaq and their traditional ways. And, I think that's really cool because it makes me sad that no one knows those things. And they just know the history book version of what Nova Scotia is or what Canada is. And, it's fair enough because that's, that was inflicted upon us. That curriculum was chosen, right? Yeah. So it's to no one's fault. But to make a play that is funny, that gets you to cry, that, that allows you to see yourself, in all capacities, I think that draw in is... it gives a sense of compassion, right? It gives a sense of understanding. So it allows people to feel welcomed into learning.
Yes. Rather
than being scared of it.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted. But I also just wanted people to laugh. I mean, I come from a very funny family and, and it's that's the medicine for everything. If we're going to talk about grief, we should at least laugh about it, So, yeah, I think... Yeah, walking away from the play, it's just I wanted people to have questions. And, a lot of people came to the play and wanted to see it again, a few extra times. So, that's cool. We get more money.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
The accessibility of it really is part of the magic. I think we live in a time where people feel maybe afraid to ask questions or ask the wrong question or have curiosity, but I want to hear from the right person and the right story. And there's a lot of pressure to have that, what I'll say, good intention. But you're not really sure where to go for that. And I really appreciated being in a space that did feel safe and it felt entertaining and it felt like this is, it felt like a satisfying way to receive information and for us to have a conversation after. And it's it's a softer way of learning, not to say that that's necessarily the way it should be or that we deserve to have, but it made it more, I guess, widely available. People can kind of have these conversations and feel like it's okay. And now you're here and we can ask you questions and that's okay too. And that feels like just I don't know, like a more comfortable way to talk about things or learn about things rather than it be rooted in fear or judgment or, because there's that too. And I sense, some of the characters were even highlighting that of like, I'm going to say the wrong thing, but you met them with like, okay, like it's not really like that, but cool. Like I'll entertain this. And that kind of feels reflective of the times that we're in.
For sure. And I think that's a lot of the comedy of it too, because it's like, how many conversations have I had or my partner has had or my family has had that are just like that? And, you can approach it two ways. You can approach it with anger and resentment, or you can approach it with, yes, we feel all those things because the history of what has happened to us, like we can't help but think those things sometimes of like, oh, this person's out to get me or this person is ignorant and it hurts my feelings. Like, of course, that's all true. But I think we have to meet it a little halfway. Like the way that you feel coming to the show, you feel safe. And, that's what we want, because I feel like a misconception is when we talk about these hard issues, it's that we don't want anyone to be scared to learn or scared to feel welcomed. Like my dad always says, like, everyone is welcome, because then how are we going to progress? How are we going to live together? How are we going to become friends with each other? You don't want to kind of be hostile. I mean, there is a time and place to be hostile, of course, because, just of what still happens to us today. Like, I don't want to get too hard into those things because it is hurtful to speak about, but it is, all of the issues around Indigenous people and what happens to us. Like, it does create a barrier. It creates hesitation, but I wanted to create a play that highlighted those things, but showed us working through it and made people laugh at the same time. Like it's kind of a tricky thing to do, but I think I pulled it off okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I think, it's, because if I'm going to live like this every day, I want to laugh about it. So yeah, but I'm really happy that you said that you felt safe coming into the space, because we had a lot of people walk out too. Like we had people walk out and just not understand the play or feel like.
Really?
Yeah, we had a few.
That's surprising to hear.
Yeah, we had someone walk out because my partner, who was also our smudge man on the show, he facilitated smudge for us every day to make sure that we were feeling good and grounded and healing, because we talk about a lot of hard stuff in the play. And he also came to every show. So he would be in the audience, and then afterwards he would smudge us and, talk about anything that happened, right? And he would tell me, he's like, oh, we had another couple of walkouts. And then he heard someone say, just an older couple say that was the worst hour of their life. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. But it doesn't hurt me. It just, they're not used to being fed this information. They're not used to being met with, maybe they felt attacked in a way, or, their lens was corrupted or things like that. They're not, but
who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? But we say, like, we're doing something right if they're impacted in a way where they just feel discomfort in their own, comfortable life.
Yeah.
That, we can make a little bit of a change that way. I don't know.
We like to think about or talk about art in general in that way, that you don't always have to like something. You don't have to think my painting is pretty and want to buy it. If it makes you uncomfortable, or you have a reaction, or you have a conversation about it, the art has done its job.
Yeah.
So that is kind of a win, in my opinion, when you think about it, and just getting that from someone. Like, you felt something. It doesn't have to be the same as what I felt.
And I think so many people are used to like the Hollywood formula of say film or shows where everything ends up perfect in the end and everybody's happy and everything works out exactly how they think it should. And like we went to a movie recently, it's called The Smashing Machine. The Rock is in it. He's playing an MMA fighter. And it's all based on true story. And a lot of things happen in it where if it was a Hollywood movie, oh, he would have won this fight and this is great, he would have overcome this, but it doesn't. It's like all these negative things happen just when you expect it to take off. And I'm like, that's going to piss off a lot of people because people sometimes just want that celebratory moment, or they're used to the, I guess, stereotypical way a movie may go.
Yeah.
And we loved it for that because it was real life is ups and downs and highs and lows. And just when you think things are going to work out perfectly, it all falls apart.
Yeah.
And that this movie we saw kind of really captured that. And I'm not saying that's what yours is all about, but in general, I think a lot of people are used to formulaic things that are very hit specific points along the way.
Yeah.
And yours didn't, and that's a good thing, I think. Like you leave and me and Kristen are talking about it and we're wondering like, okay, this character was like this and this character was like that. What does that mean to us? And how do you feel about that character or this and that? And just a conversation happens and that continues and we're still talking about it today, and that play will be something that's ingrained in our minds forever. And if you just create something that's exactly how the world wants it to go, it maybe feels good in the moment because the hero got what they were supposed to get.
Yeah.
But does it really add anything to your life or how you think about things?
Yeah.
Well, it felt very real.
Yeah.
Your characters felt very real. The story felt very real. And it gave, I think because it felt real, it gave a certain level of trust and understanding of your real experience that would be different than mine. So it's almost as though you're getting information in a way that feels true in the world, and that is not always the case when we glamorize the Hollywood way. Put the little filter on.
Yeah, I really liked creating something that was a slice of life, and it has the echoes of everything that's gone wrong. Like of course, what's happening in the play is there are things that are wrong, the things that are messy, there are things that are hurtful. But there's also what we talk about is like Brooke's mother and what happened to her. I mean, we fully don't say what happened to her, but we know that she has been a product of a colonized mindset that went terribly wrong. And so we see the aftermath of that and the effects, and that is so true. Like my ancestors and what they went through and how it bleeds into my life every day. And, but also the strength that comes with that is really, powerful. And yeah, so it's really interesting to see how this play has so many levels and so much layering within one story. Like, I don't know. I always say I wrote a play that I would have loved to have watched.
Yeah.
Because I remember being young and watching plays, these big plays for the first time with lots of money that weren't community theater plays, and just being, not that there's anything wrong with community theater plays, but like all this, these writers that I had never been exposed to, and, these sets and these actors and the lighting and, watching these plays. I always loved being an audience member that questioned everything. And, like what you two did, you came in and you kind of quizzed your own knowledge and quizzed the show. I think that's awesome because that means you were hit by something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the test for one of us. I'm not sure who, but yeah.
I think exactly what you were describing there about it, you not revealing exactly what happens to the mother, is kind of what the point I was getting at, where some people would leave like, well, they never said what happened to the mother. But I'm saying, and there are people who are going to say that, that's just
right.
the way humans are. But for us, that makes us think like, well, what did happen? Like, what does happen to...
You leave curious still.
We're thinking about it, and that makes us think about what may happen to Indigenous women, or like what are these patterns that have happened throughout the history of Canada.
Yeah.
And it just gets the wheels turning. And
For
and
sure.
unfortunately that doesn't work for everyone, but that's the same as in a song, whatever. I go to a chorus in a certain way that's maybe people don't expect, and certain people don't like it. Some people
Yeah.
do. It's a creative choice in the end, and you can never please everyone. That's one thing I guess you'll learn about
I know.
being a creative person. It's pretty hard to make everybody happy, and if you do, there's just people not telling you that they don't like it, I guess.
I know. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's it's interesting too, because with a play you kind of go through these workshop phases. So you'll workshop it with a bunch of actors and
Yeah.
then workshop it again. And then because this was a new work, we were workshopping it in the rehearsal room. And especially like being in the play and also the playwright, it was very difficult to kind of know what we were talking about in which context. Like, okay, are we talking about dramaturgically the play needs, like this line needs work, or is it me acting it? Do you need me to fix something? So so we would do this thing of like, this is playwright Lisa or this is actor Lisa, and kind of communicate that way of like, okay, who are we talking to?
Hmm.
And so that was fun, but it was also like, okay, I'm juggling here. Like this is kind of difficult, but it's also really fun. I'm getting a little confused, but and within that process too, you have actors and directors and dramaturgs and artistic directors, like all having opinion on your play.
Mm-hmm.
And also being in the play. So like just that process itself, like I could have lost my mind. I like, because there's also a lot of insecurity when you're doing your own work, and a lot of imposter syndrome that can come up, and all voices of being in theater in general could often be traumatizing because of how directors treat you or teachers have treated you before. So that can come up. And but I was grateful to be in a room that was very supportive of my work and, very excited and very humorous. We were laughing every day, and it was such a warm room, and we became family really fast. And my directors were so there for me. But at the same time in that process, everyone wants something to happen. Like what you two are saying, like, why don't we say what happens to the mother? Should we say? And then other people are like, oh no, I understand why we can't talk about the mother. Like they're debating with each other in the room, and I'm just kind of standing there.
That must be so wild when it's your creation.
Yeah.
And having, you're on the periphery of other people having this conversation.
For sure. It's really fun though, because I'm like, oh my gosh, look at them. They're like talking about my work, and you get really excited about it, right? And they have their own ideas and their own opinions and their wishful thinking of what can happen. And, then they feel really hurt by the work, but also they're laughing. Like it's such a fantastic process to see creative people work on a play and also comment about the writing. But they were all so wonderful. The team that we've accumulated have been so fantastic and supportive. But yeah, it was weird because there were times when they wanted, like I would have an idea that I was juggling with and an opposing idea. So I would say it out loud. I'm like, I don't know if we should swim in this scene, or I don't know if we should see the whale in this scene. And I said it can't be both, because they're both kind of similar. They're both different ideas, and they both say different things. And I would vocalize that out into the room. And some writers would be like, you're talking about that out loud. You probably shouldn't do that. You should probably just keep it to yourself and make a decision later. But I already created a space that was so community based. So, and I felt safe. So I'm like, I'm going to just say it and see what everyone says. And of course, everyone had a different opinion. So we were trying it all the ways. And then, through that experimentation and through that workshop process and through everyone's opinions, I was able to kind of be like, okay, no, it's this. But thank you for going on that journey with me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I don't know. I did find myself a little frustrated at the end of the day. I'm like, this is my play. Why does everybody want this to be their play? And then, you get frustrated, but it means everyone's so into it.
They care about it.
They care about it, and they really love it.
Yeah,
and
that's really beautiful. Yeah, what a compliment.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was really awesome. The whole process, like, it was really, really beautiful. The whole thing. It's like what a dream. You get to write something and everyone's excited about it.
Yeah.
And it's being really well received. And, now we just get to see where it goes next. And of course, like a whole other string of worry is going to come that way. And, not to say like I'm shaking like a leaf through this whole process. I think I'm doing pretty all right. But of course, there's like you two are artists, there's a little voice that's in your head that's like.
It's just part of it.
Yeah, it's just a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have an idea of this dreamy outcome at the outset of Mischief? So at the early days of writing, did you know this is the exact storyline I think will unfold? Or was it more you were massaging it as you went? Like, let's go back to the beginning of this.
Oh, yeah. I think it was, oh gosh, I don't even know. I think it was a little bit of both because I was between gigs. I was living in Toronto at the time and I didn't have a job. I was like, what am I going to do? I have a whole month off. And that drives me insane. That's like, I don't have any work. At least at that time it did. I was like, I needed to be working constantly in order to feel validated. I think we all go through that as artists. So I was going through a month of no work and I was like, well, what am I going to do? I said, well, I do have this idea floating in my mind. Maybe I'll just try to write it out, see what happens. And I just wrote an outline of all of my ideas. I'm like, I want this to happen, then this to happen, then this to happen. And then this is the ending, and then this could be the twist. And, you kind of break it down in very easy step-by-step modes, at least for me as a writer, that helps. And then you just come up with, I don't know, I guess I came up with these characters on the fly in the moment. I just started writing the first scene, and I'd be like, oh, it would be really cool if there was a scene about a debate about cigarettes. And then I thought of all these men that came into the store and I was like, oh, that would be interesting. I find it really humorous when these men are just in such passionate need for a cigarette. Like they're really jonesing. And if you don't have the right cigarette, they get really upset and they take it out on you. And like, how funny is that? Just the mischief of all of that, right? And, and then having the idea for the Cornwallis statue and, that was a huge pinnacle of creating the play was the statue and the taking it down. I'm like, well, how can I showcase this without it being a history play? Because I love to educate, but I don't think that's the reason why I do art. I think it's just to create in general and to tell a story and make people think differently and enjoy themselves. But yeah, so it was a lot of like, okay, I'm going to break down this play. This is the idea. This is a theme I want. I like this character idea. But so I had all of that. But as I started writing, these people kept coming in and these characters kept coming in. And then all of a sudden I'm writing about fish and I'm writing about whales and I'm writing about all these animals. Like I think I have like 20 different animals in the play and I didn't know I was doing that. And then you get to like kind of in the middle of the play and you're writing, you're like, oh, well, this is a theme. This is a metaphor I'm creating and I didn't even know it. Let me stick with this and see where it goes. And then you kind of just follow through. And
you think that's like your subconscious mind trying to put that in there?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think because it was a big metaphor. It's like, Fisherman Fred, he's already a fisherman. What is he doing? He's looking for fish. That's his hook. He's hungry for fish. He's hungry for money. He's hungry for catching things. And what happened to Brooke's mother? Maybe the fisherman had something to do with it. Maybe Brooke sees her mother as a fish. Maybe she sees herself as a fish. It's so you kind of go into this rabbit hole of conspiracy thinking within your own writing. And that's where the fun part comes in. I think I wrote the majority of the play in 1 month.
Wow.
Yeah. It happened really fast.
That's amazing.
It happened really fast.
Your month off.
I know, my month off. Yeah, right. I wrote it in a month, most of it. And then I went on tour as an actor. I did Powaggan Macbeth. We toured that in Nova Scotia. And then we took it to the Northwest Territories and Yellowknife. And then I was set to have a workshop of Mischief with Native Earth Performing Arts in Toronto just the day after I got back from the tour. And then I'm looking at my play and like, oh, well, I still have to finish the play, but I'm working right now. And so if we had a night off, I would stay home, stay in the hotel, and I would write. And then I think I finished the play on a plane ride back home. And then the next day I went into the workshop with the full play with a bunch of actors to read it. So
that's very rock and roll, by the way.
Yeah, felt really rock
Finishing
and
on
roll.
a plane. Yeah.
I know. It's like, what am I doing? I have my laptop open on the plane. I look like,
lots of people do that.
Yeah.
Playing games, watching a movie, working, whatever. Do your thing.
Just need a cigarette as I'm, on the plane. Just leave me alone.
You just butt it out in the script. No
Speaking of cigarettes, there's one scene in the play where the fisherman guy lights up a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, there's no way that's a real cigarette. It must be like the pumpkin one. I've been on set before, like as an extra, and you get those pumpkin ones.
I argue it was real. This is a debate.
You think it was real?
Yeah.
Did it smell real?
People around us were.
I thought it did.
Yeah.
I thought it did.
Mm.
Yeah.
But it felt like a real cigarette, but it was just one puff. So it was like, okay that it was real, but I'm sensing that it's not real.
This is my thing because I don't know if it was real or not. Because so this is Devin McKinnon. He's a very good friend of mine who played Fisherman Fred and played Good Guy. I met him when I was doing Stratford a few years ago. And him and I became best buddies, and he loves a cigarette. He smokes all the time, and he wouldn't care if I'm saying this. And he tells me all the time, he's like, it's been my dream to light a real cigarette on stage, light a cigarette on stage and smoke a cigarette. And so how funny, he gets this part. And so he was just trying in the rehearsal room every day. My director, I could tell, Mike, I love you, Mike. He would just be like, you really want to light a cigarette, don't you? And he would try to make it seem that he didn't really want that selfishly, but he did really want that selfishly. And so he would try it with a cigarette, and then every day it would be a conversation. He'd come up to me, he'd be like, Lisa, I don't think I can light a cigarette here. I'm like, well, just try it. Keep trying. You never know. You never know. You could find a moment. He's like, and then he would come up to me with all these ideas constantly. He's like, I think I'm going to leave lighting the cigarette. I think I'm going to be at the cash register and light the cigarette there. I'm like, Devo, just do it. I call him Devo. I'm like, Devo, just do whatever feels natural. Why are you telling me?
I love that this was like a fulfilled dream for him.
It was. And he says it all the time. He's like, I've finally lived one of my lifelong dreams of lighting a cigarette on stage. So they gave him these fake cigarettes. Mm-hmm. I forget what they were, like chocolate cocoa type of cigarettes, herbal cigarettes. And the Scotiabank stage, I think they have a certain type of, I don't know, fire alarm level where like a certain amount of haze can be lit in the theater space because, there's fog machines or, we smudge in there. So it's whatever. So he was able to do it. But I swear I would smell a real cigarette. That's why I ask you, did it smell like a real cigarette, or was that just me thinking it was?
I'm putting my money on real cigarette. I don't know the answer, but
I think he was lighting a real cigarette.
Yeah.
And not telling anyone.
And maybe it was different every show. Maybe the opening night he did a real one and the other ones he didn't. So I guess you'll have to find out. Or just leave it as a mystery. Maybe it's better just to never know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask him. But then he'll think, I don't know. He doesn't want to get in trouble. Like, I'm going to get you in trouble.
Right. Sorry we've outed you.
Sorry, Devo.
There's a certain few things that I thought really stood out in the play. One was the set design, which we got to talk about. It's obviously a set of it's supposed to be a convenience store, and I guess it doubles as a few other ones, a few other locations. But there was something like, you can tell it is a convenience store, but it's almost like the structure of bones. Like there's a skeletal feel to it. And it just felt like this could be anything. This can be a convenience store. This can be inside a whale. This can capture like anything your imagination wants it to be. It can be. And it just looked really cool.
Yeah.
That was a big one. And a scene that during the break, like everyone was talking about, was the driving scene where you kind of sit down, you kind of pretend you're driving, and there's graphics. Video imagery projected on the set onto these these bone-like structures, and it's just music, and you're moving along with it, and it was just really felt like this is just a world-class scene right now, and it just stood out like as a really unique thing that I've never seen in theater before.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for saying that. It was yeah, the set was incredible. The set's incredible. That's Andy Morrow, our set designer, and he also did our costumes. And
Where's he from?
I think he's from out west.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but he's a native guy too.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. And yeah, he had this concept, this idea of like, making it a convenience store, but also metaphorically making it kind of Brooke's mind and where she's at. So Brooke talks a lot about the whales, and later on reveals that she sees her mother as a whale. And it's kind of not realized until probably the second half of what this whalebone means, because a lot of people come in, they're like, is that a whalebone? And a lot of feedback was like, oh, I didn't know what that was for. I didn't know what I was looking at until I watched the very end of the play, where you kind of get to get it. But it symbolizes Brooke kind of living in her mother's grief constantly, because she sees her mother as a whale, and she says, well, maybe, she turned into a whale. And so we see her kind of living every day in the bones of her mother, and kind of living the grief of her mother every day, which is really sad. And yeah, the projections and the driving scene, I don't know, I kind of found out that I'm a writer that also kind of writes like a director. So I was writing all of these. I remember the first workshop, that's what Mike said to me. He's like, you write like a director. Mike was our director of the show, and who's also the AD at Tarragon Theatre in Toronto, and a good friend of mine now. And Joelle Peters also said the same thing. And so when I wrote the script, I would write certain lighting cues and certain projection cues. And the whole first scene written in the script is basically a projection show of a hawk and a fish fighting. So it's like I write like this fish jumping out of the water, and then this hawk swoops in and they attack each other, but the fish gets away, and then the store opens. And then so throughout the play, there's a lot of sequences that are written just about projections or about certain lighting. And it's very kind of particular in that way. Yeah, so with the driving scene, it was just, yeah, the projections there were, I had wrote some things in the script, and I don't think they necessarily made it into the play. I don't remember. But there was like Fisherman Fred was, she sees Fisherman Fred, she sees a whale, and then it eventually takes her to the statue. So I guess it's like everything that is amping her up to create this form of mischief with vandalizing the statue. But yeah, it's really cool. A lot of people, when they see that scene, they're like, wow, that's awesome. Or like, we got an applause a couple of times. And
it is a wow moment.
Yeah, it's really fun.
It's visually stimulating too, and it's really progressing the story.
Yeah.
Are you choosing your crew? So are you choosing who your director is and your set designer, or is somebody doing that with you?
Kind of both, I guess. I mean, I chose Mike Payette as the director, and then we brought in Joelle Peters as a associate director, who's also the AD at Native Earth. And I've known Joelle for years and loved Joelle. And then Mike, he's just been a part of the script process from the very beginning. Since that workshop I did from coming off the plane, and he was the dramaturg for that. And so he just knows the play so well, and I trust him. He has really great energy, and, is like so fun, and, just a really good person to work with, and really insightful and poetic in his work. And I thought that's really cool to work with. So I chose him. And then Mike, as the director, chose Andy, who I love, and chose our sound designer, Maddie, and who's just a superstar. Her sound is fantastic. And then, I guess with casting, we kind of came up with Trina and Yolanda, who played Emily and Tammy. Like, they were both in the workshop, and we just fell in love with them. So we were both mutually agreed, like, okay, they are in the cast. They have to be in the cast. And then he found Jeremy. So it's been a really good mix. And
nice.
Yeah, but I love working with Mike. I think he's awesome, and he really loves the play and was kind of hit emotionally by the play in the process. All of the cast was, and all of the creative really connected with the play in a way, even if they weren't Indigenous. It was just like a lot of the themes, like, anyone can connect to this play, which is really cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of them felt really heart-driven throughout the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are a show where we talk to other creative people about their idea of making it. So how success or satisfaction might feel to you. What does that question mean to you? How does that resonate? Be it for this show or just as an artist?
Oh gosh, I think, well, obviously, like the I don't know, making it like to me, because of how it's been used in context, is like how much money you make, your fame status, your status in the creative world. So I think when you're younger, all of that comes into play, like, oh, I'm going to make it one day.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me, making it is like, I don't know, making art in general and doing it and having a really good time and changing people's minds, but also letting them see things that they don't normally see and being inspired. I think inspiring other people is making it, but also like my family coming to the show, the amount of times that they did so many times, like for me, that was like such a full circle moment. And like I felt the most proud of that is like my dad loving the show, or my sisters crying, like seeing my sisters in the audience and they're crying from the moment the show opens, or it's just like, because they get to see themselves on stage. And a lot of Indigenous people who came to the show, a lot of Mi'kmaq people, they were so happy because they saw themselves in the play. They saw people that looked like them, or people that spoke like them, or, we talked about Cole Harbor and talked about convenience stores, and maybe, they go to a convenience store every day and they see themselves there. And we're talking about history that belongs to us. I think that's a big part of my work too, is making sure that those community members I have feel included in art and included in something that was kind of mainstream, being up at Neptune Theatre. So for me, that, I guess that is making it, but also like, I don't know, being happy with what you're doing too. I think, I know it sounds like kind of cheesy, but like you have to be happy. Happy is such a good, you have to be happy in life. It's a good thing to be happy. So I think just being happy with your work and, feels good. I'm happy to have a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
The foundation has been set.
Yeah.
Well, really, like you could be a trillionaire, or you could be just whatever, someone who works a minimum wage job. But if you're not happy, nothing really matters, right? Like there's very happy, wealthy people, and the opposite's true as well. Like finding that happiness in life is really, I think, the only thing that really matters.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
if you don't have that, what do you have?
Yeah.
What happens now with the show? I know we were able to see it in Halifax.
Yeah.
Where are you going next?
We are going to Toronto next.
Nice.
And we're going there in January.
Okay.
And so we get to expose the show to a Toronto audience. And I'm a little nervous for that because, it's a bigger audience and a lot of great shows have happened there. But yeah, we'll see. It'll be fun. I'm excited to see my friends again.
Yeah.
Because I lived in Toronto for a long time. So I'm excited to see my friends the most, actually. I'm really pumped to see them. And now the play's just in a bunch of people's hands that I don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens next. A lot of people are reading it right now and hopefully getting excited about it and hopefully want to program it, because it would be cool if we could do this show other places, like out west. It would be really cool if we could take it there. And yeah, so we'll see. So now we're just chilling.
Taking some downtime. Was it a different experience as an actor to be performing your own writing?
Yeah, it was really weird. It was really weird. It was like, because there would be times where I'm like, oh my God, I don't like saying this line at all. Or like, oh, this doesn't feel right. Or especially being in it and being the playwright and then hearing the other actors say the lines. And it's so true. It's not the way, like if a writer hears someone say a line and it's not the actor saying the line wrong, it's the line itself that needs work because it doesn't meet other areas of the play. It just doesn't make sense. So I could like make a change in the moment. I'd say, okay, this is playwright Lisa talking. Can we change this line? And then I could see the other actor's face and I would say, no, it's not you at all. It's just the way that this line is. It needs work. I have to change it. So, and I've been on the receiving end of that as an actor from another playwright. And you think like, oh, it's me. It's the way that I said the line. But it's really not that at all. It's just the way that it doesn't flow right. So I guess being in the room and having to work in that capacity of like actor and playwright, Mike, our director, would see me sometimes and be like, where did you go? Like, where are you right now? And I'm like, oh, sorry, I really want to change this line. Can we change this line, please? Yeah, so it was really fun.
Yeah, and you have such a cool holistic sense of theater now. I mean, you studied it, so maybe you had that to begin with, but just putting yourself in those different roles, it kind of gives an understanding and appreciation for the teams that you will continue to work with too, which is not always the case.
Yeah, for sure. It's not always the case. Like, yeah, it was a really trusted room and it was so fun and definitely changed my perspective on theater in some ways of like the creation process of it, you know? And it's like, I've done so many plays of other people's work and, you know, you get to have your own theories of what the play is and then you act it and then you know, decide the relationships as an actor with other actors, with other characters, and that's a whole different ballgame and it's really fun. So to do that in your own work, it's like, okay, well, I know the answers, but this actor is feeding me something that I didn't expect as a playwright. That's really cool and interesting. I like that. So now I have to feed off of that. It doesn't mean I have to change the lines, but an actor is just doing a really cool job. And so just living in that experience, I don't know, I'm still kind of wrapping my head around it because I have to do it again. And, but it's really fun because the actors too, they love saying the lines. They get so excited. We laugh in the play. Like we'll be doing the play and I'll see Yolanda, who's playing Emily, like start laughing. And then I have to turn away because I'm about to laugh. And I'm like, we know these words. We've done it so many times, but I feel like I wrote for actors because they could just have so much room to play with these really weird scenarios and these weird words. And it's just, we get carried away with it, which is also so fun.
I loved your big cheer at the end, too. As you guys had exited the stage, the audience gets to hear all of you as the cast kind of have a little celebratory moment. I loved it.
I didn't know that.
It was quick and,
well, that was opening night, probably. The opening night jitters cheer, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, the audience loved it. Like, we cheered with you. Like, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
What do you have planned next for writing? Is that something you want to continue to do?
Yeah, for sure. I really do. I was writing for a little bit for Sullivan's Crossing. So I was with them for a little bit and I'm really excited to write a play again, like writing my own work. I have a couple of ideas. I just need to make time. I think when I'll be in Vancouver next month. So I think when I'm there, I'll just write a little bit. But yeah, I definitely want to write more plays. I don't know. I went to my dad's house the other day and I was like, I have this idea of a play. He's like, what's the idea? And I was describing something to him. And then he kind of looks around. He's like, is that about me? Because I was like, maybe I'll write a play about a man who lives alone in a house. And he looks around and he's like,
who pretends he's escaped from a nursing home.
Right? It's like, maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, definitely I want to write another play.
Awesome. Well,
what do you do for fun? Just to like separate from art, separate from work? Are there things that kind of put your brain in the right space to separate from that part of your life?
Well, I don't know. I like going on road trips. I like driving around and exploring. I really like doing that. We're always in the car. We're always going somewhere. If we have a day off or time off, we're always going somewhere new. I really love doing that. I love visiting my granny. We go and bring her coffee and some scratch cards and we talk to her for a couple hours. I don't know. I guess I like decorating my house.
Yeah.
I like I really like going to Winners and finding things and bringing them home. Just like, I don't know, like we need a spoon rest. We've been on a search for a spoon rest for a long time. We need to find the right one.
Of course.
One that's like a cool, funky color. Like we don't just want like a plain one. It's this mission that we're going on.
Yes. I just went through this with my rolling pin.
Yeah.
I refused, like, I can't buy a rolling pin from Amazon. Like, I refuse. It needs to be sacred.
I hear you.
It came to me. Like, the right one
It will
came
come
to
to
me.
you.
Yes.
It will come to you.
I used an old plastic water bottle, like, trying to roll out dough in the meantime. That was horrible.
Because you needed the right one.
Because I needed to be. Sometimes you just know that. I understand.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the search for this. We did a big search for a certain comic book. For like a year, we were looking for this comic book, and we found it. I say we. I'm talking about me and my partner.
Yeah.
Because we just like, we're both actors and in the industry. So when we have time off, it's just like we like doing the same thing. And we were looking for this comic book, and then we found the comic book one day in Charlottetown at Comic Book Hunter, and it was the best day. We were so excited. He's like, how long I've been looking for this comic book? And we found it. So now that journey is over, now we're looking for a spoon rest.
Spoon rest is next.
So it's
yes.
and we just found out what the word spoon rest was. We asked someone.
I have
Mike's
no
like,
idea
I don't know
what
what
it
you're
is.
talking about.
Yeah.
I get
It's
you.
just like that little plate that you put your spoon on when you're cooking so it doesn't get on the counter. It's very boring stuff.
Like
Oh,
when
you can
you're
get one from
stirring-
Amazon.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
get one from Amazon. I know. But this is
Not
what
the
excites
same.
me now.
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm very into, I'm calling it my homemaker era, but the knitting and sewing and baking. And I think there's something that felt almost anti-feminist about that to me in my younger years.
For
that
sure.
we sort of, I don't know, and I look back to some of my gender study classes in university and somebody raising the point of, like, what if, almost shyly, like, what if I like doing that kind of thing, And at that time when you're learning, I think I was very much of the mind of, like, female empowerment and, we can do anything and this and that. And it has been a shift in my later years where I'm allowing myself, like, no, I like knitting, though.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But there's
If you
something
like
that felt
it-
strange about that for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that like stereotypical, like, okay, you're a woman. Of course you like to knit.
Yeah.
But like, no, I just like
I just
to
like
knit.
to knit.
You
Yeah,
can- Yeah, you
exactly.
can knit for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know. I think because my life has been really chaotic in my 20s and like I was constantly moving around and I'm sober now and
Mm-hmm.
it's like you're constantly on tour doing shows at this city or this town or this tour. Like to do something normal, like find a spoon rest is so exciting and really fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. Like we will find the perfect one day. It's
Please
just
send me
like
a photo of the spoon
I
rest
will.
when it
I
comes to
absolutely
you.
will.
Like, I
Thank you for asking.
genuinely am willing this to happen for you. Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I know. We even went into like one of those, like we went to the mall and then we went to like, I don't know, one of these kitchen stores. I forget which one it was. But my partner goes in, he's like, we didn't know the name of the thing that we're looking for. And he goes up to the lady and he's like, when you're cooking, like not even a hello first, just, when you're cooking and you don't want to get anything on the counter and you put it on this thing and she automatically says a spoon rest. And we just say it constantly all the time now. We're like, oh, that's what it's called. Like just, I don't know. So she gave us the name and we have to go find it. So we will find it.
This is your next quest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Mike learned what a spoon rest
Yeah.
was today. So
Yeah.
we all win.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an amazing conversation.
Yeah.
Well, this has been really thrilling.
And scene.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I got this new tidbit of information I can spread to the world now, and hopefully our listeners maybe one of our listeners has the perfect spoon rest for you.
I mean, I hope so. And you can find me on Instagram at Lisa Nasson. Just message me if you have a really good spoon rest. Something that's like kind of funky, right? It's not, not normal. We just want something kind of cool.
Let's
Send
get
it.
Does it
these
have-
two their spoon rest.
Does it have to be an actual, like, designated spoon rest, or could you just find like a cool flat rock? Like, oh, that can be a spoon rest.
That's a really good idea, actually.
Because it seems like it doesn't have to be a very complicated thing.
It doesn't. It could be a plate. It could be anything. We've been using a plate, but I think we're just so fixed on getting this spoon rest now. It's got to be a good one. I really like the idea of a rock, actually.
Yeah.
Because then you can just go outside and find a really great rock.
Find the right rock.
We were collecting rocks a couple weeks ago. So maybe we can use one of those rocks.
All piecing together. Yes. Well, maybe you have plans now for your afternoon after you leave here.
Just really.
I can tell you're like, whoa, this is just happening right now. The spoon rest is finally coming.
I'm really glad we get to talk about it because not a lot of people make space to talk about these things. You know, just these everyday things. Maybe that's the next play.
This is what makes
something
us all
about
human.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you asked what I was doing for fun. That's what I do for fun. We just do stuff.
Yeah. Treasure hunting, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
for
it.
sure. Yeah.
Well, this has been just such a delight. Like
So
we were really
fun.
just drawn to, of course, your work, but drawn to you as a writer and an actor, and certainly now as a human being.
Yeah.
So thanks for making time to be here with us. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So
Congrats on the success of Mischief, and excited to see where it goes and where you go and what you do next. So.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, we'll put the links to the show and how to find you so that people can send you their photos of the spoon rests that they have dug out of their kitchen cupboards. And just encourage everyone to check out this work.
I'm just trying to be like really, knowledgeable and cool on this podcast, and then I talk about a spoon rest
You're so
for like
cool.
10 minutes,
Right? This
That's
is like
cool.
makes you cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
At least in this room.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. And much love.
See you next week.
Cheers.
Make It with Mike and Kristen is recorded and produced by Michael S. Ryan at Hot Jupiter Sounds.
Intro and outro music by me as well.
Cover art by Emily Rankin at Take Note Graphic Design, and photography by Candace Moore.
If you cool cats want to help us out, the best way to spread the word is by telling a friend about us. Tell your mom, tell all your buds. Word of mouth is still the best way to reach people. It's free for you and helps us immensely. And if you're into it, you can like and subscribe and all that stuff too.
Another way to support us is through our Patreon. We have a number of super fun tiers and perks like bonus content, handwritten postcards, creative coaching, and so much more. Find us at patreon.com/Mike and Kristen.
For the makers, the dreamers, and the figuring it outers, have fun trying to make it out there, friends.